In this video, we'll be looking at the material to do with section 10.3 of the book, specifically questions relating to the calculating of angles. First thing you have to remember when we're doing any question like this, whenever we're dealing with circles, the total degrees of a circle is 360 degrees. If we're dealing with a straight line angle, an angle drawn in a straight line, the total size of that angle is 180 degrees. Let's look at this example here. I've got a straight line angle divided into two, an angle of 110 degrees and another unknown angle of x degrees. Well, we just said a straight line angle is 180. So therefore, we can say that x plus 110 degrees is equal to 180. Well, if x plus this is equal to this, then we could say that x is equal to this minus this. Just in the same way that 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 is the same as 2 is equal to 5 minus 3. So that's what I do here. X is equal to 180 minus 110. We're just doing a simple manipulation of this equation to get x on its own to solve for x. Because 180 minus 10 is 70. So therefore, this angle here, x is equal to 70 degrees. Then let's look at another example. Let's say I've got an angle here, y, and another angle here, y. And I've got this angle here, 60. No, we'll not say 60 actually. 70. Doesn't really matter, okay? So y plus 70 plus y is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, well, let's see if we can tidy this a bit. First of all, well, what's y plus y? From our algebra questions, we should remember whenever I add two of the same letter, I get twice that. Okay, so I have one y here and another y here, so I have two y's. Plus 70 is equal to 180 degrees. Well, just as above, this plus this is equal to 180. So I could say, well, that is equal to 180 minus that. Going back to my 2 plus 3 plus 5 example. So 2y is equal to 180 minus 70. Well, 180 minus 70 is equal to 110. So I don't know what y is, but I know twice y is equal to 110. So 2 y's would be equal to 110 degrees. So what would 1 y be equal to? Well, that would be divide both sides by 2. Y is equal to 55 degrees. Next thing to remember, if I have a circle, and I got four angles, A, B, C, and D. A plus B plus C plus D is equal to, well, this is a whole circle, 360 degrees. So if we do another example, badly drawn circle. Okay, well, this is a straight line angle, so we can straight away say that x is equal to 180 degrees because it's half the circle. Now let's look at this one here. Y plus 30 is equal to 180. Going back to my previous examples, y plus this equals this is the same as saying y is equal to this minus this. 150 degrees. Okay? Now, another thing that we need to remember, this is a very important rule in maths when we're dealing with angles, and that is a scenario like this. If I have two lines which intersect like this, forming an X, then the angles opposite each other, like here and here, are always going to be the same. And these two angles here will be the same. They're what we call vertically opposite angles. And vertically opposite angles are always equal to each other. Always in geometry, in maths, vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. What do you mean by vertically opposite? Angles formed when two lines intersect. The angles opposite each other in the intersection are equal to each other. So this is equal to this. this is equal to this. We're not saying these two are equal to each other or these two are equal to each other. Only the angles opposite each other. So let's think about this for a minute. How could we try to prove that that's correct? All right, well, let's look at an example. So I have the angle A, B, C, and D. All right? Well, let's look at this first of all. Let's look at the angle A, B. This is a straight line angle. So A plus B is equal to 180 degrees. So going back to my previous examples, if A plus B is equal to 180, well then A is equal to 180 minus B. Okay, now let's look at this example here. A and D. This is also a straight line angle. You might need to turn the page to see it, but it's a semicircle. It's a straight line. So A plus D is equal to 180 degrees. And just like in all my other examples, if that plus that equals that, well, that is equal to that, take away that. Now, see what we note here. If A is equal to 180 minus B, and A is also equal to 180 minus D, both of these terms are equal to A. So that means we could say 180 degrees minus B is equal to 180 degrees minus D. Cancelling these out, we're left with B and D. In other words, my vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. And that is what we're looking at right now. The homework that I want you to do this evening is exercise 10.3, questions 1 to 9. Okay? And in all of these questions, you're doing the exact same thing that we've just done now. Thanks, everybody. Don't be wrecking people's heads at home. And remember to wash your hands.